Now we are going to create config map from directory. Now we want to see how to create config map from directory. Now in our case we are going to create the files and their content, name the files according to keys. The content of the file should be the value you want to assign to those keys. For example, we have named one of the file as city and put the value Delhi as a content. Now let us see. So in CMS we are creating the directory one CM. We will go into CM, then we are going to echo v1 key 1. That means we are putting the value v1 in key 1. So echo 2 in key 2, Vipin value in name, and Delhi value in city. You can put the value by using echo command. That means here please remember you have to keep the file name as a key, and these are going to be the value. Then we will go one hand back, one directory back by using cd dot command. Then with ls minus lcm command we can check that 4 files are available. Now how we are going to create the map? kubectl create config map. We are going to name our config map as directory cm, and we are specifying -- form file equal to .cm. That means please create the config map. The name of that is going to be dircm directory config map, and from file which are in which directory dot, that means in current directory there is further directory cm from this. Now what it is saying, config map got created with this name, and you can view this kubectl get cm directory. It is showing that this is the name and 4 datas are available. Now with the view config map kubectl describe cm / directory cm, you can view that name is this, and it is showing you the values also. That means key 2 has got value 2, name has got value Vipin, city has got value Delhi, and key 1 has got v1. And we can display the output in YAML format also by using the command kubectl get cm / directory cm o YAML. So it is showing the output. API version is v1. This is your data. Kind of object is config map, and this is your metadata. Now what we are going to do? Now we are going to create pod for testing the config map. So here we are going to create one pod. The name of the pod is going to be pod test cm1. That's you can name files according to your requirement, but in our case we are using that means we are creating pod and we are testing, and cm mean we are testing config map. So again API version is v1, kind of object is pod, and this is the name test cm1, containers test cm, image alpine. Again image policy we have already discussed about that. Command this we are going to running. The meaning of command is that this pod is going to run for almost 70 to 100 seconds. Now here again we are using environment. Now we want to store the value in name variable. So we are specifying value from config map key reference. And what is the name of our config map? We have specified this is the drcm, and which key we have to use, name. Now the value of this key name will get stored in this value, and then what we are going to do, kubectl apply -f we are going to create. It is saying that pod got created. With -override option we can view the IP address of that. It has been launched on worker 2. Now how to test? Now we are going to run environment command in the container. The environment variable name is visible. Now when we are going to run this command, kubectl execute test cm1, and we are running in non-interactive mode. So when we are going to run this command, what it is showing, name is equal to Vipin, it is showing, and because in this case we just assigned value to only one variable, so name variable is now after that what we are going to do, we are going to delete that pod. Now we are going to create the second pod for testing config map. Now we are going to create the pod test cm2. Here we are using the again environment variable. So let us again create cat pod test cm2. .yaml file, API version v1. Again, kind of object is pod. This is the name. Container name is again your test CM. This is the image, and this will run for 70 to 100 seconds. Now look at the environment. Now we want that in name variable, value from this config map .cm and the value of key name should be stored here. Now we want to store second value also in city variable. So we are again specifying value from config map key reference name city. Now city value will get stored in this value and your name value will get stored in this. Now that means here we were using environment. We want to inject value of two keys, the key name from config map .map into environment variable name and key city into city. So now we are going to kubectl apply -f pod test cm2. This pod got created with the -o wide option. We can view the grade. Still it is in creating state. So after some time it will be in running state. It is showing the IP address and on which node it has been run. And when we are going to test, how we are going to test, again kubectl execute test -cm2 environment variable. So what it is showing? It is showing that the name is equal to Vipin, city is equal to Delhi. Now what we are going to do? We are going to delete the this second pod. Now the problem is now we want to insert all the 4 values that we created during that directory map. Now we want to use all the 4 keys in the pod, but if we are going to inject 4 key in the way as we did in previous example, the YAML file will become very large. So we will use now the another method. We will use environment from. Now we are using environment from to inject the values into the container. It will use all key values from the config map directory map. It will use key as a environment variable and value as a environment variables value. Look at, so we are creating the third pod test cm3. So here kind of object is pod, API version is v1, metadata, that means name of pod is going to be test cm3. So container's name is testcm, image alpine, and this command it is going to run. Now this is important, environment from. Earlier example we were using only envir, and that we have to specify individual. If you are going to use environment from, what you can specify config map reference. You have to just give the name of that config map name directory drcm. So what will happen? Let us see. So we will create the pod kubectl apply -f. So this pod will get created. You with -o wide option you can view the IP address and on which node it belongs you can view. Now how to test? We are going to run kubectl execute test cm3 environment command. Now what is saying? Key 1 is equal to v1 and key 2 have the value 2, name is equal to Vipin, city equal to. Now we are going to delete that pod. That means using the environment from is much more efficient than inserting the individual value. Now we are going to delete that config map by using kubectl delete cm/drm. Then again when we are going to say kubectl get cm, it is saying that drcm not found. That means because we have already deleted that config map. Now we will see how to create the secrets. So in our case we have deleted that config map.